Hello everyone, today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I have been getting a ton of questions a lot about my photo gear and stuff like that, and I thought, why not take the time to show you all of that cool stuff. So this video is going to be about all of my photography gear, so it's not really a book related video, so I apologize for that, but hey, if you want to see what gear I use for when I shoot my weddings and all that kind of stuff, then stay tuned. First things first, I'm not bragging about any of this stuff at all. It has taken me years upon years to acquire this stuff. I've saved up money. I have, I've saved up, money from weddings, money from photo shoots to get this gear. So I'm just throwing it out there that I have saved up my money, and I don't even have that big of a collection, if I'm being honest with you, because being a photographer is not inexpensive. It is expensive as mess, and I don't have nearly the stuff that I want, but I'm happy with the stuff I have, and it'll continue to keep on growing and growing and growing. So I just want to throw that out there. Things I can't show you right now because I'm using them. I use a Canon 5D Mark II as my main camera that I use for when I shoot weddings, when I do videos, when I do anything photography related. That is my camera that I'm using. So with that, I'm just going to go on to the lens real quick. One lens in particular. The lens I use most frequently, 90% of the time, is my 50mm 1.4. That is my baby. I love this lens like nobody's business. Every video you see, 9 times out of 10 it is shot with that 50mm 1.4, and I love it. Gosh, I would really love a 50mm 1.2, but the price between the 1.4 and the 1.2 is like $1,000, so I can't afford that right now. Hopefully one day I'll be able to, but I definitely say if you can't afford the 1.2, the 1.4 is just as amazing, and oh my gosh, it gives you the most beautiful buttery, smooth, so much bokeh with it. Oh, I love this lens. I can't get enough of it. Okay, let's go on to my gear. So the first thing I have to show you is what I use for when I go on photo shoots, when I do weddings, and that is my shoot sack. You're probably wondering what this is. It's a fancy purse. It's like a purse for photographers. So what it is like a messenger style bag, so I wear it like to the side like this, and that way it's easier for me to get to my lenses and all that stuff. It has this cool design. You don't have to have one of these designs. I just had a black one. I actually just upgraded this one last year, and it rips off, if you can hear. So you can rip this whole cover off. That way, if you, let's say, want to do a photo shoot in the grass and your client's wearing a really nice dress, you can rip that cover off and have them sit on it, so that way it's like an instant sit down thing. So let's go through this. Be forewarned, I have I don't know what's in this right now. I always clean it right before I do a photo shoot, and I had a photo shoot a couple weeks ago, so we'll just see what's in it. So the first thing in here, I have this little pocket right here. I just have a receipt book so that I use for receipts, and then I have a pen. So, ooh, glamorous. When you turn the thing over, you get 3 little things right here. Now the good thing about the shoot sack is you can keep your lens in here without any lens caps or anything on. That's what this was designed for a quick, easy interchange for lenses. Because during weddings, let's say I'm using my 50, but then the couple gets down the aisle and they're quite a far ways. I want to pop my 85 on. I just, take it off, blah, blah, blah. So that's what this is for. In the middle pocket, I have my other baby of a lens, and that is my 85 1.8, I believe. Yes, 1.8. I would love to have a 1.2, but then again, the price difference is astronomical. The 85 is really good for a little bit of up closer images. A huge difference from the 50. I will say I do love my 85 for just a little bit tighter of an image. I love this one as well. I love all my lenses, if I'm being honest, but my 50 and my 85 are my most favorite. I think I only have 3 lenses I shoot with. Fun stuff. The next pocket, I have this book, and you're like, what is this? Now, as a photographer, I'm always finding inspiration from other photographers, from Pinterest and stuff like that, and it is hard to come up with poses of your own, to come up with things that you want to do. So what I do is I like to go on Pinterest, and I like to look up poses and try to recreate them in my own way. This just helps get my creative juices flowing. Honestly, when I'm on a photo shoot, sometimes I think it happens to all photographers. We all kind of blank out, and we're like, oh crap, what do we do right now? And that has happened to me every photo shoot. I think I have a good hour where I'm like good, and then I have where I just hit my wall of creativity. I lose it, and so I pop this out and I try some really cool just different poses. I just keep a whole slew in here. I have some for engagements. I have some for weddings. I don't use all of them. I barely think I've used any of them, but it's just good to just visually see something and be like, oh, let me try something similar to that. So I highly recommend, if you're a photographer, carry around a book of inspiration with you. That way, if you're in that, if you hit that wall, you can pull something out that'll help kind of springboard you back. In the last pocket, I have my other lens, and this is my 28mm, what are you, 1.8. I just use this for strictly weddings, honestly, because a lot of times I have huge bridal parties where the bride has 8 bridesmaids. Crazy, I know, and the groom has like 8 groomsmen, and you need a very, very wide angle to get all that in. So I use that, and this is not my favorite, I will say. I strictly got it because of the price point. I want to upgrade to a better wide angle soon, but I'm happy with it for now. The focal point of it can be kind of hard. Like when you have a huge group, it's hard trying to find that perfect focal point where everybody is in focus because everybody has such different heights. But I will say I like it. I don't love it. That was all in the front part. In the back part, there's also 3 more pockets. I have no clue what's in these. Oh, lens caps. That's what you hear in plastic. A lens cloth to clean with. And then this card. So this is what's with me on shoots, like when I do engagements. I just don't do weddings. I just did a kindergarten shot last week, as a matter of fact. I do senior sessions. So whenever I have a photo shoot or a wedding, this is always with me, and I do love the shoot set. Now the next bag I have with me, I only bring on weddings, and that is this bag. It's just a laptop bag, honestly, and I've had it for years upon years. I just bring this to weddings with me because it carries all of my backup things. Let's go through it. I have not shot a wedding in a year because of my pregnancy, because weddings are very stressful. Like, they take a huge toll out of me. I'm sure, as any photographer can attest, the next day it feels like you got run over by a Mack truck. So I had to take a break from that because it was just too tough. So I have no clue what's in here right now. Things first, I have my flash. I use a Canon 580EX2 speed light. I just use this for mainly reception and stuff like that. Now, I don't have any umbrella lights, before you ask me, because I have a friend who has some who lends them to me. So I don't feel like I need to buy them right now because I have such a awesome friend that lends them to me that whenever I need them for a wedding. So I just use my flash, and then I use those umbrella lights, and I am golden. I do love this flash. I will say I am not a good photographer. I haven't aced the flash yet because lighting is tricky. I'm very good with natural light, but when it comes to flash and umbrella lights, that's when things get a little bit dicey for me. But I am learning. As with everything, you grow and you learn and all that kind of stuff. But I do use this every single wedding. Next thing is just this. This is just holds all of my essentials for weddings. Like, I have some Tylenol in here because you do get headaches. I've got some like powder and stuff like that for touching up. I have hair ties because 9 times out of 10 I start the day with a wedding with my hair down, and then by the end of it my hair is up. So that just has that. And also, usually in this back pocket right here, I have 2 pockets, if you can see. I always keep my laptop, or my husband's Mac laptop, but he uses it, you know, when I don't do weddings. I just use that for my slideshow. I do a slideshow every wedding of during the reception, there's 40 images, so I keep that laptop in there. And in the front, I have my backup camera. I have my Canon 50D. This is what I had before I had my 5D Mark II. I'm a firm believer in having a backup camera because you never know if something could go wrong with your main camera. Knock on wood, I haven't had a problem with a wedding yet where I've had to switch a camera, but this is always good to have on hand. And also, sometimes my husband is my second shooter, and he doesn't have a camera, so he uses this as his camera. I will say the 50D is a great alternative to the Mark II. I love any Canon camera. I'm a Canon girl, and before you're like, what about Nikon? I have worked with Nikon, I just prefer Canon. That's just me. Also with that, I have an extra battery and my 50D charger. In the front, I just have a mouse for the laptop, business cards, and that's pretty much it. Other things I have are just lens caps. I bought like a pack of like 6 on Amazon because, quite honestly, I lose my lens caps like nobody's business. I'll put it in my pocket and then I don't know where it goes. So I just bought some generic lens caps because they're lens caps. Also, I always have polarizers or UV filters on all of my cameras. Now let's talk about CF cards. I don't have too many of those because I don't use them quite well. I use them a lot, but I have about 5 4 gigabyte compact flashcards. And I know you're like, why don't you have higher quantity ones like 32? The reason for that is because I have learned that memory cards do corrupt. And before you're like, that's never happened to me. And you know, I would say the same thing a year ago, but honestly, I shot a video about 5 months ago and one of my cards went corrupt, and there's no reason for it. It just happens sometimes, and it was the same brand, same model as all these other ones, and I use all Lexar. And it just happens. So the reason why I use a 4 GB one is because, especially when I am shooting a wedding, I don't want to shoot a wedding on an entire, like, I can probably fit a wedding in a 32 GB card. What happens if that card goes corrupt? I have lost everything from that wedding, like from the first picture to the time they're leaving the reception. That's a lot. So I use 4 GB and I break it up through the day. So the first 4 GB I'll use while the bride's getting ready, while the groom's getting ready. The second 4 GB I'll use is for the ceremony and for like the bridal party pictures. And the last 2 are for receptions. So that way, if one of them does go corrupt, yes, I have lost some images, but I haven't lost the whole day, which would be horrendous. So I highly recommend, if you especially are a wedding photographer, to break them up into 4 GB cards. That's just my personal preference. I think it's just the smart thing to do and the safe way to do things. So that was all of my gear. Now, I used to have 2 lenses, but I just sold a couple of them because I didn't use them quite as frequently. I sold my 100mm because I bought it a while ago and I used it only for rings and jewelry and stuff, and I felt like I didn't use it as much as I should have. So I do plan on buying that back soon when I come into a little bit of extra cash. There's also a wish list of freaking lenses I want. I will leave my wish list down below if you want to see what lenses and stuff I'm currently craving. But yeah, that's just my gear. I thought you guys would like to see it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please let me know. Leave a comment and stuff. It's got weird. I don't know. Anyway, that's all for me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.